Until the present and for the foreseeable future, oil will remain the world's major energy source. Today, it counts for 33.6% of the global energy consumption. The equivalent of 1/5 of global oil consumption has to pass through the narrow, dangerous Strait of Hormuz. The strait connects the Arab-Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman, providing the only passage from there to the Arabian Sea. Many Middle East crude producers rely on this open passage for their oil shipments. According to recent estimates, almost half of the world's oil reserves are located in the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz is 167 kilometers long and at its narrowest point is 39 kilometers wide, but its two shipping lanes are only 3.2 kilometers wide. In 2018 alone, 21 million barrels a day were passing through the strait. This means $1.17 billion worth of oil a day at September 2019 prices. Tankers passing the strait bring oil from the Gulf crude producers to the markets of the world and especially to Asia. Any disruption to the traffic of the strait would cause a significant increase in oil prices all over the world. One of the key oil producers on the strait is Iran. Already in the past, Iran has strategically used its position to pressure its political adversaries and to retaliate against direct threats. The first time it used this strategy was during the Iran-Iraq War 1980 to 1988. Iranian vessels assaulted tankers carrying Iraqi oil in an effort to damage Iraq and the Gulf country's economy, which was supporting Saddam Hussein. During what came to be known as the Tanker War, tensions in the strait ended in a direct confrontation between Iran and the US.
Tonight, a collection of U.S. warships, combat planes, and airborne radar systems have been assembled to protect the latest additions to the American commercial fleet. Two Kuwaiti tankers, which as of this morning are now under the protection of the American flag.
The American Navy had intervened to protect the flow of oil traffic and act as a guarantor of the world's oil trade. It was during this war that Iran founded the Revolutionary Guards Navy, responsible for many of the attacks. The conflict eventually ended, but the strait has remained a point of contention and a heavy militarized zone. Recently, US-Iranian tensions have increased again after President Trump's decision to withdraw from the nuclear deal and impose additional sanctions to stifle Iran's oil exports. As in the past, the Iranian government has threatened to block international traffic to the Strait of Hormuz. This time, in retaliation to America's high-pressure policy, Iran has threatened that if it cannot export its oil, nobody else can. Between May and June 2019, 6 tankers of different nationalities have come under attack near the Strait of Hormuz. The US has accused the Revolutionary Guards, but Iran has denied any involvement. Tensions reached even higher levels in July 2019 when the Revolutionary Guards Navy seized a British oil tanker in retaliation to the UK's seizure of an Iranian oil tanker from Gibraltar. In the meantime, multiple missile attacks allegedly perpetrated by the Houthi rebels in Yemen, which Saudi Arabia claims to be supported by Iran, have targeted Saudi oil facilities and pipelines. While both the US and Iran have declared to be avoiding an all-out war, Iran is using its position over the Strait of Hormuz to threaten a disruption of the global oil economy and pressure the US and the European countries to relax their policies. Despite these incidents, a full blockade or a serious disruption to the traffic of the strait is unlikely to happen, as Iran is probably not able to do so. The drone missile attack that halved Saudi Arabia's oil output for some days on September 14th, and which underlined Saudi Arabia's vulnerability, is an indication of which way Iranian leaders are thinking to punish their enemies. As long as oil remains the fuel of the world, rivalry for control over the Strait of Hormuz will continue to incite the geopolitical power struggle between nations. The strait will remain a source of tension and the scenery of direct or indirect confrontations.